Being Jasmine.
Being Jasmine.
Being Jasmine.
Loyal.
Funny.
Determined.
Compassionate.
Hardworking.
Magnetic.
Versatile.
And confident. Those are the few words that I can kind of summarize how Jasmine's personality is.
Welcome to Spring to Full Figure Fashion Week. For this episode, I invite you to get to know the real Jasmine Okoli. I'll give you an intimate look at my life, and I'll take you down the road that has led me to where I am today.
Jasmine has a big personality.
She's always made just hanging out fun, and anytime we get together, there's lots and lots and lots of laughter.
I mean, she's a very animated person. She has so much energy.
She's always been confident.
When she's in the room, you'll definitely know it.
Always been really comfortable in her own skin and who she is.
I was born November 18, 1986. I was born to the parents of Rollins and Stephanie Caring. Proud African-American parents from Houston, Texas, born and raised. You know, they were born where, black folks that were just like black power and, the soul, and I'm the first child. I'm a girl, so they spoiled me.
Jazz was that outgoing kid that always had some sort of idea. For whatever reason, we always did stuff and we didn't get in trouble all the time, but we did some of the time.
My parents were all about education, education. They drove that. They were just like, not pushing fashion, not pushing, beauty. They wanted to know that you were smart, and know that you could do anything in this world that you put your mind to. It's stuff that they drove. They sacrificed for me and my sister to go to private school because they felt like in order to be the best, you had to go where the best was at. And that's where they felt like private school, that was it. While going to private school, I went to Dallas Christian. Being at Dallas Christian, I was like, there was not a lot of black people there. It was a lot of white people, and I was like one of the black dots that were there. So, your parents had pressure on you. You couldn't cut up in school. You had to be the best. You had to get straight A's, and you had to do the best. But school came easy to me. Education was something that was not hard. Learning was not hard for me. But fitting in, that was the problem. I couldn't relate to the people that were there because my reality was different than their reality. It was just basically like, we're going to the same school, but we're not seeing the same things. So basically, I had a hard time. I couldn't fit in, and, I felt invisible. Even though I felt invisible, my dad tried to make sure that, that doesn't matter. High school is only for a season. It's only for just a little bit of time. What your job is to do is get an education. Get an education, get what these people are learning and doing, and then get out. Because high school is only but a short moment in time. So that's what I did. I made sure I got, the best grades. I'm trying to make sure that I was the best at everything I did. I was on the National Honor Society. I was vice president of the National Honor Society. I made sure that every class I sat in the front and you knew who I was, because I was going to make sure that if I was invisible socially, you gonna know me educationally. So I graduate from Dallas Christian and I go on to University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. I'm here and it's a new world. I'm like, oh, I want to get into everything.
Jasmine in college, she was definitely a lot of fun, that's for sure.
I know education's always been first for me, so I'm like, okay, I still gotta make sure education's first here. I major in chemistry pre-med because I'm gonna be this doctor, this, that's thriving in her community, that helps people, helps the world.
I remember seeing her in the library with books spread everywhere. She literally camped out in the library. It was open 24 hours during finals, and she literally stayed overnight and studied for her finals. So she was hilarious, fun, but she was also very serious when it came to schoolwork and things that were important to her.
I wanted to be active on campus, so I joined everything, y'all. I'm part of Black Student Association. I'm part of African Student Association. I'm part of Minority Association Pre-Health Students. I'm on execs on different organizations just to make sure that I'm involved in campus, and I wanted to explore and just be part of everything.
No matter if we were staying in or going out, it was a guaranteed night of laughter and just silliness.
So I'm active on campus, and plus, my style is out there. I'm from Dallas, Texas. If you know anybody from Dallas, we have our own swag, we have our own style, we do our own things. My hair was different. I was changing my hair up every other week.
So you can definitely see Jasmine's personality come out through her hairstyles.
So Jasmine has had many hairstyles.
It changes so much.
I mean, she likes to switch designs from one day to the next.
When she would come home, every time I saw her, she had different hair.
She tends to lean towards the bigger, more dramatic hair.
Quick weaves and different type of weaves, different type of colors. I think I was blonde for a second.
It was a different color, it was a different length, it was a different texture or cut.
If she gets tired, she might dye it, she might cut it.
Or something was different about it almost every time I saw her.
You never know, but it's definitely not gonna stay the same for too long.
One thing comes to mind when I think about Jasmine and her hair, and that's a 27 piece.
I remember one day she walked out the salon with this swoop in her hair. I mean, I have just completely lost track of how many different hairstyles I've seen my wife have.
I think it's one of her joys of, dressing up and being fashionable and being stylish. That's one of her many ways that she expresses herself.
And coming to her fashion, I remember at school, she would always step out in heels, done up, makeup done up, hair done, walking with her shades on.
And the way that she styles herself has really always been something to look forward to.
My clothes were different and they stood out, and people would look at me like, what does she have on? That's not style, that's not fashion, what is it?
I was just like, everybody else is in sweats and t-shirts. Why are you so dressed up? But hey, that's Jasmine.
I didn't care what they knew, what they thought, because, I was from Dallas and I was gonna represent who I am, where I'm from, was gonna rock my style, and I just felt like, these people didn't know what they were wearing. I was the one with flavor on campus, and little did I know that, I stood out like a sore thumb based on my hair and based on my clothes.
No matter what she decides to wear, from a fitted dress to a large hat, you're gonna see her enter the room and you're gonna think she looks good.
So I have this big hair, this big personality. I'm trying to be known and big on campus, and I'm trying to be the best at school, best at everything. But trying to be the best, it just was so hard in everything. It had a lot of pressure, and I felt like I was trying to overcompensate for something. I was trying to be so much, but inside, in my private time when I was by myself, I felt so small, so alone, and just so confused. The person who I was trying to portray who I was not the person who I felt inside. I lacked confidence. I lacked self-esteem. I just really still didn't know who I was, and that bothered me. My parents were going through stuff at home, and here I am struggling at school with who I am, and it was just a hard time for me. It's easy to put a smile on when you're hurting inside and have everybody just think you're okay, but really inside you're not okay. I was going through all these things on campus, and I just felt like I needed an outlet, somebody who I could talk to, somebody who I could share this with. I prayed to God, and I was fasting. I said, Lord, bring me somebody that was going to be consistent in my life, and somebody who could possibly be my husband, and just bring me somebody that, that will love me and cherish me for the woman who I am. And after fasting for a month, here comes Chris.
When I first met Jasmine, it was at OU on campus. She was working at her job at a sandwich shop.
When I met Chris, I wasn't expecting much.
I was expecting a girlfriend. I was expecting a wife. I randomly came in just to get a sandwich. And I remember looking behind the counter and seeing this girl that was just full of energy. She was bright-eyed.
He was kind, loving, caring.
Bushy-tailed, just full of life.
He listened to me, and I was just like, what type of man is this? Whoa, like, I didn't know men like you like this. Men like this even existed,
She was always talking about him and just doting on him, and Chris this and Chris that.
And she had the biggest smile I've ever seen anybody have.
He was like, I'm a big dude, and I don't care who knows. I was like, who the heck is that?
And that's the main thing that I remember from her, just that amazing smile that she has.
He was everything I needed. You know, he was my best friend. He was my partner in crime.
She changed my whole life completely. I'm talking about a complete restructured.
He was my movie night, dude. Like, we were dating, but we were best friends at the same time, and has like a strong foundation. While sitting and talking with him, he just filled me. I don't know if he knew he filled me, but he was filling me.
She gave me something that I never knew that I needed.
Everything I felt like I lacked within myself, all the holes, everything that I felt like I was missing, the confidence, the self-esteem, the things that I felt bad about myself, he had. And his energy would feed me, and I just loved being around him every second of every day.
And because of her, I'm a better man, I'm a better provider, I'm a better listener. I mean, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I had never felt this connection ever before.
So when they did make it official, oh my goodness, it was everything for her. I mean, he is definitely her dream guy, and not everyone gets to marry the love of their life. So I'm really happy that it worked out for the both of them.
So we've been dating, we're in this relationship, we're going through ups and downs, typical relationship stuff. We graduate from the University of Oklahoma, and a little bit after graduation, Memorial Day 2011, he proposes and puts a ring on it.
Jasmine always talks about how much she saw in me when we dated, but little does she know that she's the one that inspired me to be better and grow as a man. She taught me how to love, she taught me how to be responsible, she gave me so much structure to my life. I always knew that Jasmine was the one.
So here I am planning to get married, and in my head, I know this wedding, I'm going to have an epic wedding. I'm going to plan the wedding of my dreams. I was used to already doing stuff big, doing events for other people and stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to do any less for myself. So I'm going to have this big wedding, and it's going to be beyond anything that I had ever seen. Say Yes, the dress was consistently playing in my house, and I was supposed to have this big dress, big wedding of my dreams.
Jasmine's wedding was amazing.
Pretty unforgettable.
It is definitely the most extravagant affair I've ever been to.
She had a big bridal party.
I mean, she definitely spared no expense.
I have pictures still in my phone, and I show people the cake, and I show people the dress, and I show people the bridesmaids' dresses and what we wore.
From the beginning to the end, it was just all about her and Chris, romantic.
Being able to witness two families of two different cultures kind of come together.
I designed Chris and I's African attire for our wedding.
She even incorporated her husband's Nigerian background into the wedding, so she had a Nigerian portion and a more American traditional wedding.
And blends so well in a celebration of love and commitment and friendship.
It was a lot of fun.
We had so much fun.
She definitely made us feel special and beautiful, from the makeup to the hair. I mean, everything was just amazing.
And it's probably my favorite wedding I have ever been to.
It was just beautiful.
Definitely something I will never forget.
I mean, it really was a great day. I mean, after all of the struggles and all of the things that we had been through, Jasmine finally became my wife, and I mean, I couldn't have asked for a more beautiful moment.
So here I am, a new wife. The wedding, it comes and it goes. I'm working at this new job at the top of the year, Chevron Phillips, a great company, and I'm doing great, but during the best of times is also the worst of times. I have this great job and I'm doing good at work, but my husband has no job, and while preparing for the wedding, he didn't have a job. I was the only one working.
As a man and a new husband, I wanted to take care of my wife. I wanted to provide for my wife. And I was literally applying for jobs every single day, but nothing was sticking.
And I'm just like, Lord, we are struggling. My husband doesn't feel like a man, like a husband at home. And here I am working, and we're having financial issues. And here we are, living, because we were having financial issues, we had to move into his parents' house, being newlyweds. And, here we are arguing about little stuff. And I'm just like, Lord, like, what is all this going on? What is this, And while I'm at work, I feel God just tugging at me tugging at my strings saying, I'm just to prepare you for something. Here come, I have something for you. But I'm like, Lord, like, what is it? Tell me what you want me to do, because whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
She would tell me all the time that God was speaking to her, but we just didn't know when that breakthrough was going to come.
Even though I was scared, I was just like, Lord, what do you want me to do? And I felt like he was preparing me for something. I just didn't know what.
During this time, we never lost the faith. It got really hard, but we just prayed and prayed for God to move.
So God is just pulling these strings. He's pulling these strings during my God time. He's pulling these strings at work. He's pulling these strings telling me, get ready, get ready, get ready. And I'm just like, what am I getting ready for? And all of a sudden, Chris gets a job. Out of nowhere, he gets a job. And it's for GE in Chicago.
I was so ecstatic. We were so happy. I always wanted to give us a new experience for our marriage, and this was the perfect opportunity for it.
So, here we are moving to Chicago. New experiences, new chapter. I'm scared but happy at the same time. This new chapter doesn't only represent something new for my husband because he has a new job, but also for me too. I was working at a great company, but it was just not my passion. It was not it. It was just something I was working for a check.
She was not happy at all. I was just so ready for her to move and to help give her a break.
So when I moved to Chicago, I thought that, this is going to be something new for me and bring, also what my passion is really into life. And I'm going to start working toward my passion, my purpose, my destiny, my dreams that I spend time, writing about during my free time. One thing that people don't know about me is I have a heavy passion for fashion, modeling, TV shows and production and movies.
When we were younger and we were kids, she'd always be able to put something together that was really kind of fashion forward, and she was never really afraid to try something different.
This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I spend a lot of my free time just looking up, and just reading about, and spend my free time basically looking at.
She's always been very creative.
She doesn't always stay in the box.
I would watch, red carpets and just try to see what type of designers celebrities were wearing, modeling, I would just watch a bunch of modeling shows. Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model, I was watching consistently and just looking at different modeling, how models would walk down a runway. I would watch different fashion shows to see how, not only how models would walk, but also, the different garments fashion designers were making.
She would always stay up late watching Project Runway. And I remember she used to have these magazines spread out all over the place, just looking at different styles and fashions. She was really dedicated to learning about modeling and fashion design as much as she could.
My favorite all-time designer is Dior. I love Dior's work, and I feel like it's a strong brand, it's a legendary brand, and it represents me because all the different dynamics they have. When John Galliano was was the head fashion designer there, I was just in love with that work. My favorite collection that he made was Spring Summer 2011. It was just, that fashion show was dynamic. It was creative, the volume, the differences, the story, the story that the fashion show told, and the garments, the way the models modeled the clothes. I was just like, this is just a new world for me, and this is what I want to do. This is the time, this is what I spend my time doing. What people also don't know is, in my free time, I sketch. I sketch different garments. I sketch different clothes that I would like to wear, or what I would like other people to wear. I spend, if I have a free piece of paper while Chris and I are at dinner, I'm sketching a dress or an evening gown or a pantsuit or something. So here I I have all these ideas coming to me. These are the things I spent my free time doing. So this is what I thought God's supposed to bring me into one of these areas. In what area, I don't know, but into one of these areas.
I could tell that she had all of these ideas and visions mustered up inside of her. She was sketching all the time. She was looking at magazines. She was looking at modeling stuff. She was looking at red carpets. She was talking about hosting and creating these big events.
It's never going to be like really subtle. It's just going to be bold in your face and beautiful.
She's always been a very visual person.
During any type of event or anything with her name on it, it's big, it's flamboyant, it's larger than life.
She has a specific idea of what she wants in her mind.
She's also very detail oriented, so everything is gonna have its place and it's just gonna be perfect.
It's like I knew God had given her a gift, but I just didn't know how he was gonna do it in her life.
So we moved to Chicago, we're here, we're moved in, we're good. And God's still feeding me with all these ideas, but I'm in a holding pattern. You know, he's not telling me how to get there, what we do, what's the next step. I'm like, okay, God, you're giving me these ideas, but where are we going? What are we doing with this? And I grow to be upset, frustrated, pissed off, because I'm like, Lord, you've given me all these ideas. We've moved so much and done so much, and now I'm ready to work and just get into this, but you're feeding me, and he's telling me nothing.
I could tell she was really struggling.
And I fall into depression, not eating.
I mean, I would come home from work and all the lights would be off, the blinds would be closed. She'd be still in the same pajamas that she was in when I left her in that morning. I mean, this was not my Jasmine at all. This was not my wife.
It was just a horrible time because I feel like, God, you're giving me all these ideas, but you're not giving me no answers. And it was just maybe one of the worst times during my life.
All I could really do was just pray for my wife. I just had to trust that God would see her through this and also see our marriage through this.
So here it is, January 2016, the top of the year. Chris and I decided to do the Daniel fast, and I decided to release all this, feelings to God, all these emotions to God, and just give it fully to him.
She wanted something of her own. She wanted something that she could call hers. She didn't just want to be my wife, she wanted to stand on her own 2 feet. She wanted to be like, hey, I did this on my own. Jasmine is a complete star. She's never been a quitter and she's never given up on anything.
So we end the Daniel fast at the end of January, and a week goes by, and I'm searching on the internet, and here's an open call called Curvy Perfect. I believe that was what God told me to go for, and I'm like, okay, God, this is a big deal. My first open call, let's go, let's get it. So I practice every day on my walk. I practice on just talking and just having the stature of a model.
She woke up every single morning at the crack of dawn trying to practice her walk. I remember hearing her stomp in the living room, but she was just that determined to be good.
I prepared, a week or two, getting ready for that open call. And it comes to the morning of the open call, I'm thinking I'm ready, I'm thinking, I'm ready for this. And I get the news that rocks my world. My nephew, Montrell Carey, was shot and killed that night, and my whole world just ended. He was 17 years old, and he was the first grandson of our family, and he was so beautiful and a beautiful smile, and he was just such a great person, and I just couldn't believe that he was gone.
I've always known Montrell to be a good kid. I mean, every time I saw him, we always made each other laugh, and we just shared some of the same sense of humor. It was always a breath of fresh air when I was around Montrell.
It was like, Lord, how am I supposed to move and do this open call? And I just got the news that morning that, Montrell was gone. This is my first nephew. This is the boy that, I loved. And I was like, man, I can't believe I have a nephew. He was my world. And now he's gone, and I'm supposed to go do this open call, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should go or, should I stay home because I feel horrible. I don't know what to do. And I prayed over it, and I was just like, Lord, just tell me what to do. And I talked to my husband about it, and he was just like, I don't think God has brought you this far, and I don't think Montrell will want you to stay home. So I went on, and I did the open call.
And one thing that Jasmine always mentioned to me was that she wanted to show her nieces and nephews that you can dream big and you can achieve those dreams. Anything that you set your mind to, you can achieve that.
And I bombed it. I did horrible. I don't think my mind was there. My mind was on my nephew.
Between Montrell and Curvy Perfect, I just know this just devastated Jasmine. It just completely turned her world upside down.
So, I bombed the first open call I do. Montrell's gone, and I'm trying to grieve, but I'm trying just to work, just to get over the grieving, just make myself busy.
You know, my wife may get knocked down, but she's definitely not going to stay down.
And I'm looking over the internet and I come on the site and I see there's a competition for the face of Full Figure Fashion Week.
So when she told me about applying for the face of Full Figure Fashion Week, I said, okay, babe, let's do it. I'm all in.
You know, I didn't know exactly what Full Figure Fashion Week was and everything, but I feel like God led it to me for one reason, and it was staying with me. And I was like, you know, guys, this is what you want me to do. And, you know, he told me, you know, this is what I want you to do. So we put all these pieces together. You know, we had to pull finances. We had to find a photographer, videographer, makeup.
But there's one thing you need to know about Jasmine, is that when she puts her mind to do something, she's going to do it to the utmost and to the fullest.
I tried to just put my all in the video, and I try to do this photo shoot, and you know, this is my first photo shoot ever, you know, not fully knowing what I'm doing.
You know, she doesn't just meet the minimum requirements. She's going to go 11 steps beyond to make sure she puts her stamp on it.
And I put all this together in a package, and I submit it for the face of Full Figure Fashion Week, and I become the face of Full Figure Fashion Week.
She didn't expect to win at all.
I'm happy, I'm appreciative, I'm crying, like I'm so grateful.
I mean, even the night before they made the announcement, she was crying, she had doubted herself, but I always knew that she was gonna win, just because she put her all into that video and that headshot, and plus she's just that good.
But that night, you know, after it was announced, I was like, it's time to grind, it's time to work. I just didn't want to be the face of Full Figure Fashion Week and not any put any work in. I didn't want to just repost, you know, what they put on their Instagram and Facebook. You know, I wanted to be the face and put my flair on it. Do something that was, you know, that represented me while doing everything the face required. So I was like, God, what is it that you want me to do? You know, because I didn't know exactly what past Full Figure Fashion Week did, and I just knew that I wanted to do something different and just, you know, exciting. So I prayed to God, and, you know, God gave me more ideas, and I came up with Sprint to Full Figure Fashion Week.
Sprint to Full Figure Fashion Week is an experience. You know, it gives people VIP insider access into Jasmine preparing to be the face of Full Figure Fashion Week. It also helps bring more awareness to the event for people who are new to this world.
I wanted to create Sprint to Full Figure Fashion Week because I wanted to give people an inside look to what you have to do and how it is preparing for being the face of Full Figure Fashion Week. You know, Sprint has done hair, we've done makeup, and we've done outfits, you know, and these are all the things that come into, you know, preparing to be the face of Full Figure Fashion Week. You know, I also want to bring another side and show the perspective of Full Figure Fashion Week. You know, we had To Be Continued jeans on our episode, one of our episodes. You know, to show that, you know, this is what a fashion designer goes through, and you know, they're getting ready as well for Full Figure Fashion Week. And you know, the Full Figure Fashion Week is such a big pie, and there's so many pieces that come to it. So I want to show through Sprint that, you know, all these pieces are coming together and they're part, you know, just a good part of Full Figure Fashion Week.
Jasmine works non-stop on Sprint to Full Figure Fashion Week. I mean, our weekends are completely gone because she's busy either editing, networking with people, she does other videos as well, and now I'm on it full time now, so our weekends are completely shot. But she's just that dedicated to making it great. She just wants to make it bigger and better, and especially for the people.
You know, not only do I do Sprint, but I do, you know, workout videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You know, I wanted to show that, you know, while growing in my career and, you know, being an aspiring model, I only want to be healthy emotionally. I want to be healthy mentally and physically. So, you know, I do these workout videos just to inspire other people to work out. You know, not only that, but I do these promo videos every Friday that I put out on my Facebook and Instagram pages, you know, to show that, you know, these are past designers and all the things that happen at Full Figure Fashion Week when it comes to the fashion shows. You know, while editing and cutting and doing all these different things to the video, you know, I have to look at a lot of fashion shows to see what the girls are modeling and what they're creating. And, you know, you just, while watching them, you just see just how far the plus size industry has come, like the evolution of it. You see how, clothes used to look, and 7 years later, you see how far it is now, and this plus size industry is continually growing and growing and growing. When I was younger, plus size industry wasn't, glamorized. It wasn't something really big. I didn't know much about it. It was always, talked about the normal size clothes. That's what you saw on TV. That's what you saw, when people walked the red carpet. You didn't see, plus size women working it and killing it, on the red carpets or making appearances like that. And the clothes that you did see, they weren't appealing. They weren't something that, I feel like I identified with and wanted to wear. But the plus size industry has come a long way and, growing. Look at Barbie. I remember Barbie was a stick figure, and I didn't identify with her because she was so skinny. She didn't have any curves. But look at Barbie now. She has curves, and she's, she identifies with girls that are curvy now. Look at, Lane Bryant. They tried to air a commercial on ABC and other networks, and, they got shut down, and, nobody wanted to show the commercial. But the commercial showed just as much skin as a Victoria's Secret commercial or any other lingerie commercial. Look at Ashley Graham or Melissa McCarthy, how they discuss, like, how it is so hard for them to find, designer design for them for the Oscars. But, a normal size girl can go anywhere and get a designer to create for them, at any time. So yes, the plus size industry has come a long way, but we also have a long way to go. That's why we as plus size women have to stand behind the models that represent us. Stand behind the boutiques, the retailers, everybody that represents us that are out there. We have to support them and stand behind them. Put our dollars back into our industry so that way they can grow and create more and better things that look good for us and help us get variation so that way we can have better shopping experiences. We have to support the plus size events that are out there for us, just like Full Figure Fashion Week, so they can continue to grow, and that way we can have more options and have something that's strictly tailored for us. So that's why I'm looking forward to Full Figure Fashion Week. Not only because I'm the face and all the experiences I have, but because curvy women are going to be coming together in solidarity. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to let our hair down. We're going to be together. We're going to learn. We're going to see great plus size fashion. And I'm going to be around women who share the same experiences just like I have.
My wife knows failure, but she also knows how to rise and succeed. She loves people, and she wants everyone to have a good time.
I know now she's having so much fun with everything that she's getting to experience. I definitely look forward to seeing how those fashion choices and how her style is evolving.
God has truly given her a gift beyond measure, and I don't believe we've seen even a fraction of what Jasmine still has to give.
I may be at the beginning of my career, but Full Figure Fashion Week is not my ending. I watch Model Behavior with Sharon Quinn every week to receive the tips that she has from models like me that are trying to grow in the business. I also try to practice posing and taking pictures with my camera every other day so that way I can be stronger and better when I have my next photo shoot. Also, I try to practice my walk so that way my walk can be strong, and I try to grab and receive all the information, soak up all the information I can, because I just want to be the best and to be the strongest model I can be. I just see myself being bigger and being better. I see myself, being signed to major agencies, doing ad campaigns, doing commercials, doing different type of events. I see myself producing TV shows and film like Mola Scott Young. I see myself, having my own fashion house and designing for celebrities and designing for, the everyday woman that's just like me. I'm passionate and I'm hungry, and I really just see myself bigger than what I am. And God has given me vision. God has given me so many different ideas, and He's continuously feeding me. And I have these bag of tricks, and I just can't wait for, God to show me and give me the next steps of how to get there. By the end of this, I hope that you see that, I was just this little black curvy girl from Dallas, Texas, who felt invisible, and now I'm on my way to, my dreams. And I never saw or never thought that this could happen to me. And I hope that you can, feel inspired and know that you can go for your dreams. As long as you have God on your side, He will direct your path, and you will get where you need to get to with Him. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Sprint to Full Figure Fashion Week. This is not my ending. This is just the start.